right? Well, this is a big one, but let's try and answer it in the short term. When Europeans first came to Australia, they were absolutely convinced that Aboriginal people had no LAW, law, or no legal or political systems. And the early settlers started to name Aboriginal culture, and they named that Aboriginal culture as primitive, as backwards, having no LAW, no political systems or chambers of law, no education systems and so on. And it's that derogatory naming that still goes on, driving most of the people's understanding about Aboriginal culture or the original Australian culture today. Unfortunately, LORE just talks about those myths that are sometimes talked about, like the children's stories and that sort of thing. And that suited the settlers' understanding of Aboriginal people, that there was nothing any deeper in their culture. I now worked in Arnhem Land over 45 years now with the Yolngu people here, and the old people have taught me and instructed me deeply around their systems of LAW. LAW, where they have chambers of law, where they have systems of law, where they even assent to their law through a ceremonial process, which is not done in the wider Australian community today. It's usually done by the Governor-General or the Administrator here in the Northern Territory, where they assent on behalf of the people. Yolngu people in North East Arnhem Land still assent to their law today by a physical process of going in the water and, like a baptism under the law, putting themselves under the law, under the traditional law. Unfortunately, that has never been recognised in Australia. It has never been fully studied properly by people, not just like me, Fitter and Turner, but by legal people. I just can't understand why there isn't dozens of doctorates on it. Because we want to stay stuck in the old naming that was given by the original settlers. That was definitely derogatory and definitely did not explain the deep complexity of the original Australian culture and law. It has suited the mainstream Australian community to continue to believe that Aboriginal people had no LAW. And in holding to that myth, that's the myth of the mainstream Australian community have about Australia and the original Australian culture. Us sticking to that myth is creating the lawlessness we now see on Aboriginal communities and the high levels of Aboriginal youth being jailed and so on. So no, it's not LORE, it's LAW. And the sooner that Australia can come to that reality, the better it'll be for the whole community, and definitely the better it'll be for Aboriginal people who are continually losing that deep, complex system of law as we speak today.